Good morning, guys. Uh, Getting off to probably what's going to be a slow start to the day, at least until 2 o'clock or so, until we get the news from the Fed. Then things will get rolling. So, a bunch of things I did on purpose, space things out more than normal, and just ready to roll then. But there are a couple of interesting things that are worth considering this morning. A couple of potential movers that I've seen before that can move on news. So that's a good thing. So we'll see what happens with some of this stuff. Want to take a look back at the other day. We had mentioned Carvana the other day when I decided not to take that trade, and kind of blew up a little bit. Even yesterday, it kind of bounced right back. We know it's going to the S&Ps, so everybody's got to get into it if they are not. And we see it had a nice little move there. Looking still 450 and change this morning, and probably be a mover. I have it 425.87, which is off the charts here, and 485.09, which would be another new high. Made a new high yesterday too. I think the 458.64 was a new high. It's a little bit away yesterday. One thing that did work out yesterday, the only halfway decent trade I caught when I'm not following today, is Home Depot. They've cut numbers. It was looking 340 something yesterday morning, and popped up. This is what we like to see. Like to see this snap here, this pop up right here. Okay, caught it twice here. Caught it in the high 350s short and the fairly high 354s, and see it comes in and say thank you very much right around here. That's not a lot of time risk there, and you get that snapback that you look for, and that's just an ideal situation. These are the things we hunt out. And that's why it's good to get them. So that, and we looked at Charter the other day too, and was talking about 199 entry, and actually came into 201 and changed, then took off. See if we see Charter here. So I'm waiting on it. Oh, it's stuck here, waiting on it. Here it comes, I think, on Charter. Here we go. But it had come in the other day to 201 and change, and then we're back to hanging out around 203. See this 203 still being support there. So a long move down, and then slow move back up. You're not going to make millions here doing that, but trades are trades. You take them. Making money good, losing money not nearly as good, right? So, got about 9 minutes here before the open. Couple of things to talk about. First one being AVAV. Okay, which had earnings, and tell you in a sec where it's looking, because I'm just looking at my sheet on my phone here. All right, so AeroVironment had some news yesterday and ran up initially. Down now on earnings, down a bit more than it was. All right, so it's trading down 5%, 267.52. I'm looking 245.99 to purchase it. Initial purchase here. I'm at 291.37, which would be up yonder here. So looking for a fill, and then some there. Okay, looking for a fill and then up toward the highs there. Why? Because it's an earnings day, and it's also the Fed says some stuff. We could see a tumultuous move here between 2 and 4, or not. All right, and off the moves we get, right initially on these days, could be a head fake, and then we get another move the other way. Seeing it, just got to try to plan ahead and be ready for it. Next stock is Cracker Barrel, CBRL, another earnings situation. I believe looking down as well. Yep, looking down $1.20. All right. Last time it had earnings, I almost did not trade it because I'm like, Cracker Barrel, really? But was glad I did, because it really worked out. So it was good. Couple good trades there. I forget the specifics of it, but I remember that it worked out pretty well. I couldn't even tell you if it's long or short, to tell you the truth, but hey, making money again, not a bad thing. All right, so out 25.80, looking 23.73 to purchase it at 28.51 to short it. So off the charts there, but we'll see what happens. GE Verona, GEV, looking up, up, up. $600 and change stock. Soon to be a $700 stock, could well be. All right, up some numbers, up some forecast numbers. Okay, above the old highs by $10 here in the pre-market. Looking 633.53 to purchase it, which is actually one of the rare situations where I'm higher than, or well higher in this case than where it went out. So I'm up yonder here, 633 and change, high 633s or mid 633s. I'm at 762.83 to short it initially. Just being careful. I don't know where it goes. I just want to have something out there that's fairly safe. So I have something out there, like I said, and we'll see. All right, GameStop also had earnings. And again, it's like, do I want to get involved in these meme situations? And the answer is, not really. All right, so it went out 23.11. It's trading 21.88. 17.44 for it initially, and at 28.72. So I have stuff out there. If it gets ridiculous, but I don't want it to occupy my time. All right, there are other things. It can be a tough situation. All right. Sats Echo Star got an upgrade, I believe. Okay, so we're seeing it trading 98. I think that's a new high, right near a new high, close. Yeah, within 90 cents. All right, so had a late run here. I think maybe the upgrade came out earlier. Anyway, giving it room based on the Fed stuff and based on its prior ranges. It was $13 a range yesterday. So I'm 84.08 to purchase it at 111.34 to short it. So giving it room kind of on purpose, giving everything a lot of room on purpose, for after 2 o'clock. I think we'll be kind of quiet. Hopefully not really, really quiet, as in I can, make some money, because it's been a quiet week for me in general, because we haven't seen the moves, because we're waiting on the Fed stuff. It's only Wednesday. So once we're over the hump, there's still, some good trading left, I hope. CoreWeave I have as a morning purchase. CRWV, taking a look at it right now, had gone out 90.66, trading around 90 right now. 82.26 for it, which is not, it's down 82, down around 82, so it's a bit down, but it's not a huge move for CoreWeave. And again, that's good till 11 in the morning, and it's based upon it going out strong. Okay, I rated a 0.92, and that's enough for it to be part of my morning situations, looking for some kind of relative strength. All day, I'm at 102.46 to short it. Okay, First Solar, I'm going to have as a short this morning. The range wasn't great, less than $10. If it had not been a qualifier here, based on its weakness, I would not be involved. It's a little bit weaker this morning, trading 252 or thereabouts. I am looking to short at 264.49 up until 11 or so. And again, that represents my initial entry, thinking probably, at most three other ones probably, if need be. Again, and that gets reassessed over time. So nothing firm there, but we'll see. I'm thinking 228.52 to buy it, and that's down. That's more in line with it the way it normally moves. For it to move like 22 points or something like that is not outrageous, and even more so on a day when the Fed is talking. So we'll see what happens there. We got 3 minutes. Let me flip through our other relative strength things. If I got any more, I got Pure Storage, which is still locked here in ranges. We talked about that some the other day about ranges expanding and stuff. It's back into its bottom part, but lower range, I think. All right, so I'm 73.24 to purchase it. So that's pushing through, but it can move like that and snap back in. 65.75 to short it. And again, that's 73.24. It's good till 11 in the morning. I got RGC, which do I even want to like pretend to short it? I don't know. I have it out there at 24.79, good till 11. 14.29 to purchase it. Went out on the lower of the day, 16.60, looking 10 cents lower. Rocket Companies, Rocket Mortgage, whatever you want to call it there, as we're getting close to the bell. Not all around a range there, 44 cents. Did go out strong. I think it's 17.92, trading 18.90 now. I think it's 17.92 to purchase it initially, up until 11 at 21.18 to short it. That's good all day. Sunrun RUN, morning short, can be a good mover, so that's why I'm thinking 19.35 is the first short here. 15.88 to purchase it, good all day. And that's about our list as we get toward the open here. And real briefly, we got about a minute or so. I want to talk about morning routines and stuff and getting into good habits, and doing stuff, staying caffeinated, those kind of things. But, being ready, be prepared and stuff. Like I'm up, usually a little bit before 6 or so and doing some reading, some fun reading, some just things involving the market, that kind of thing. And I like to give myself about an hour and 45 or so to do my morning work, get my numbers in, that kind of thing, crunch numbers, get that kind of stuff done. Okay, so I have some time in the morning. In this case, I'm talking to you guys, but so I have a little time to decompress around 9:10 or so until the market opens. So I'm ready for that. We're taking a look at Sunrun here, seeing that it's opening a little bit lower, and taking a peek here right away at what's going on here. Okay, got GME opening right around where we figured it would. 21 and change. Okay, we see 21.50 right now, 21.60. All right. AeroVironment, other earnings guy. Right now, 255. What did we say? We said, flipping over there. All right, 245. We got $10. That certainly is feasible here. Let's see if we can get a quick dip here. Okay. Would absolutely love that. All right. I'm going to throw in 245.99 right now. Just as it's bouncing, but that's okay. I'd rather have something in there. 245.99. Okay. It's in. All right. So even though we're a bit away, I don't want to, I got the FOMO thing going on, fear of missing out. Okay. Don't want to miss it. So I got it there. Checklist here going on too. So AV. So nice they did it twice, I guess, right? Where'd I put that bugger in? $10 away, right? Yeah. 245.99. And that represents an initial entry. Okay. We'll check out Cracker Barrel. All right, kind of bouncing off those morning lows. We got a ways to go there. All right, $1.50. Just short at $3 and change to pick it up. Has been already up to 27.40, so that's interesting. Kind of interesting there. Initial moves is sliding back in a little bit. Okay. Look at SATS. Okay, did it make a new high or did it just touch the? It didn't quite make a new high though. It might, might now. It's right there. Okay, that's what we got going on there. We got a new high there in SATS. And again, I'm pretty far away there, but that's okay. These things get going, and markets overall, got the Dow down negligible. Same thing with the S&P, same thing with Nasdaq. Are we going to play, kind of a waiting game? Those guys slid a little bit yesterday afternoon. Bitcoin was going up. Bitcoin's right around 92,000 right now, even though it's off a tad. Connection there, I guess cuts good for it. So we'll see what else we got moving down. We got Rigetti going down a little bit. I think I'm 24 for it, going off my handheld here while I do this with you guys. 23.96. These guys haven't moved great in this week. Last good move, I think, was Thursday. I think it was Thursday. QBTS off a bit. There I am. Heck of a lot lower, just under 24 in that case. And INQ. Like that these guys tend to move together. All right, INQ's down a bit more, I guess, because it's more of a stock. But still a good ways away. It's 48.69 to purchase it. So pretty far away there in general. All right, about a few minutes in, and not a heck of a lot happening. We got CoreWeave getting interesting here. Okay, eyes on this for now because I said 82 coming in a bit. Okay, not put an order in yet, but let's see. And again, that's a morning purchase based on relative strength. So we'll see what goes on here. Flipping to Intel. Move down there. Okay. Personally, I have Intel looking 37.83 for Intel. Okay, and that's over the course of the day. Liking this, this is unlike Intel to be coming in this quick. Would love to see more. Get down there for me, okay? All right, just put it in, okay? And let me go to my checklist here. Grab my pen. Ugh. Slid all that way away there. All right, so 37.83 for Intel. Have it in there. Next spot would probably be down another 50 cents or so. Maybe 40 something, give or take. Just sliding across here. Again, all my stuff is scripted on purpose. I'm thinking 37.38 there for my next. That one is not in PS. All right, getting closer. All right, again, it's a long day. Can be good. This is nice. Again, this is a nice move. We're not getting that slow. And we get this down, pull down and then snap back. Other thing worth mentioning is Oracle has earnings after the bell this afternoon. So that is worth watching too. So, how it plays out, I should say. And watch during the day. Okay, and we see Oracle down, down. Where am I at in Oracle? Just what I priced it. I think I priced it. Yeah, I said 204 in Oracle. So even though that looks like a big move, it's not. It's not a big move there. Should take a look at Carvana too. The way it's been moving. And we got new highs. That's, I was 464 and change to short it yesterday. Today I'm a heck of a lot higher, but I'm at 485. And I'm like extra careful with it today too, because because of the Fed thing. Same thing on the long side of 425. But Carvana going up. There's a shocker. All right. Wow. Who'd have thunk it, guys? Who'd have thunk it? Carvana going up. Back to some of our news stocks. Okay, Cracker Barrel. Should I be getting something in there? I'm 23. I'm $2 away, so can hold off on that. GameStop, not really. AVAV, I did say 245. It's trading 256 right now, so just a visit. AVAV. Waiting on it. Seeing on here, it's trading 256. Okay. Sliding still, not really a snapback or anything like that. So let us see. I said what I said. I think at 288 if we did get some kind of snapback there. So not really seeing that right now. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Get that GEV. Wow, wow. Can I said what? I said what did I say? 740, 750, 762. Got a ways to go, but that's pretty darn impressive that makes a new high and just goes and goes. That's why I gotta, be careful with these things because fear of fear of getting run over. F-O-G F-O-G-R. F-O-G-R. F-O-G-R-O. Something like that. I don't know, my spelling's all messed up. Never mind my ability to do other things like that. So nevertheless, the stock's going up. SATS new high. Looking at my leaderboard. Palantir. Okay. Waiting on it. A little bit of a move up this morning. What did I say in Palantir today? Sure, I was careful about it. Yeah, I said quite a move. I said 171.90 to buy it at 198.19 to short it. Again, that's based on the whole Fed thing. That would be a bigger move than normal. I do want to look at Pure Storage just to see what we got going on here. Okay, nothing much to talk about yet. All right, and I should look at RGC. Nah. And volume, I'm sure, is nah too. Volume is nah. Yeah. So we got nothing going on there. Rocket, is it taking off? Ha ha ha. Trying to be punny again. Only 10 minutes in. So, all right, Rocket, a little bit higher. Priced it out, priced for it to come in because it can do that. Sliding higher. I'm way up to short it at 21.18. So that's not really coming into focus. Sun run. Okay, pulling in. I'm away. Coming to some of these other guys down my bottom of my spreadsheet. Sarepta. All right, not a lot going on there. Should take a look at Tesla and then Rivian, even though I didn't price out Rivian this morning because it wasn't looking like it was doing much. Yeah, Tesla is quiet. Played it wide in case it moves. Rivian, a little bit of an up move, but 30 some odd cents worth of range. So definitely nothing very exciting there. Let's go back to GEV for a sec. Okay, so somewhat stalling here. And then, we get back to, takes me back to as it sits here, sitting pretty here. Takes me back to Carvana land from the other day where where it did some work sideways and then it was continuation pattern higher. It's like, once we go sideways some, do we get that and get continuation or do we get reversal? And that's something we got to decide. And I decided I didn't want it in the other day, quite honestly. So, I mean, that's something, you live with it. So it's like, so be it. You know, move on, be a big boy or big girl, and just go from there. Take a look. Haven't taken a look at Charter this morning. Go through our C stocks here. Okay, Charter, not a heck of a lot to talk about. I am wide there. Constellation Energy CEG, 359. Quiet. It's not, not ridiculous that these guys are not really moving a hell of a lot this morning. We won't do some hanging out into stuff there. Okay, core, we've get, what I said, 82 and change for it, as a relative strength buy. Ways to go, visiting Carvana. Okay, did make that other new high, came off there. What a difference a day makes, because I said 464s. If this was yesterday, it came in like that, I'd be happy. But like I said, way the heck away right now. Looking at Intel. Are we still seeing that nice move down? Are we already? No, we're not. And I knew that, but wanted to add to the drama here. So it's snapping back, made a move down. I got closest I got was about a buck away. Now it's going to be drawn out. So it's not, you missed that quickie move. Micron, flipping through some of these other guys. Okay, that's Micron not moving at all. It's different from Micron. Well, $5 worth of range, but looks like a non-move. I did price out NVIDIA today, even though it had very, very, very little range. Yesterday, $2.40 worth of range yesterday. And it's not for a stock that impacts the market so much. It doesn't really move a heck of a lot. So I don't always play it. Going back to Oracle, like I said, earnings after the bell. Coming back here. Overall markets are still down just a tad, and Bitcoin's still hanging around just under 92,000. Palantir we talked about before. Had looked at Run. Let's look at Solar Edge too, because I did price that out. Keep going up a little bit. I have that wide today too. Anything that's not a relative strength play this morning, I have priced very carefully over the course of the day, because what might happen at 2. And there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know in these situations. So we try to be careful. Okay, I want to revisit now Cracker Barrel, CBRL. See if I should be proactive here. I'm always proactive, but more so. I'm 23.73 for it. It's been 25.29. I should. Okay, 23.73 in. Okay. All right, so put in Cracker Barrel for better or worse, because I don't want to miss it. 23.73, and that, again, I leg in even in these situations. Okay. All right, and this time it's actually 2,300 shares. Okay, it's all it's based on a total number you have in mind. Get in like that. I don't care if you're buying one share at a time. All right, or shorting one share at a time. Okay, do what you can live with. That's all. Excuse me. Drink a little drink of water. It's what you can deal with. So you're not stuck micromanaging it. Just totally focused on that. And I've been there, done that. Still do that sometimes. Let's go back to AVAV. What do we got going on here? About 17 minutes in now. AVAV kind of hanging there. Again, I'm fair ways away on the long side, really away on the short side. GEV, we saw a little bit of sideways, and we're still seeing a little bit of sideways. Again, new high by a lot. Where are we going? Or, should I be thinking about something yet? Not so. If we get a little more of that, is that a trade there? What the range in this candle is what? It's 15 points. So even though it looks like piddling, 15 points there, is interesting. And we're on those lows there. So maybe we're coming off below that now. Do we fill down to here? Don't know. But definitely eyes on kind of situation. Is it going to be worth some kind of long trade? GME here we got popping back up. Catching my attention? No. All right. No, not yet. Way away on purpose. Echo Star. Big, big mover, big mover up over the course of the year. Just made a new high yesterday, new high today as well, on that upgrade. And we see it's pretty much hanging there, did trade par. Okay, so that's a decent new high there. I am away, which is okay. Looking at AI, C3 AI. One of my guys who I trade. Went out strong, not quite strong enough to be a relative strength play, rather. Get tongue twisted there. Okay, going through some of my guys here that I'm actually playing today. AMD. Not a lot of move. We just went through the C's there. I should look at CoreWeave, though. Don't have a purchase in for relative strength yet. Has been below 86. First Solar, I have a relative strength short. We visited a little while ago, 20 minutes in and quiet here. Okay, popping up a little bit. And I'm $10 away, so we'd have to see a move up here. Capable of it, most definitely. This kind of day, less or so, but my mind is, we're not, are we going to do squat diddly until 2 o'clock? Or we're just going to slide across, trend across, with the new stocks being the exceptions. Let's look at our guys here, our ion Q. Sliding back up. All right, G-Wave. Okay, so our quantum computing stocks here. G-Wave, same kind of look. Rigetti. Okay, not as much. All right, not as much there. So that's a little bit of a difference there. The other guys are bouncing a little bit. G-Wave kind of pulling in. Still pretty far away, though. Still $3 away there. So need moves. You have to anticipate moves here in these guys because they move. Caution is a smart thing. Be prepared for that. Look at Bitcoin a little bit lower, but not much. 91,007. Not a lot there. Back to our news stocks here. Back to AVAV. We're getting a trade. Now just hanging across here. A little back and forth. 255. Buck off the low, and I did put it in there. So still a good $9 and change away from for me. Can definitely get there though. Cracker Barrel. Every time I'm saying Cracker Barrel, it's getting me hungry. Only had a couple of donut holes for breakfast. Sliding down, I did put it in there about a buck 70 away right now. Low is 25.25. I said 23.73, and I'm in there for that. Don't have my lower limits in there yet, but not moving super fast. Back to GE Verona. Not to be confused with my Sharona one hit wonder song. 7-Eleven, so did kind of hang here, kind of hanging here. All right, kind of hanging above this move, 710, kind of holding right around there. As it says, it wants to give it up, doesn't give it up. Looking at Carvana again. Okay, has been down here, has been down 454. So came in at least briefly to decent short-term support, even though it failed that, later in the day, kind of got back to it. And then Vroom, here we go again. Now pulling back toward that. Is it going to be a sideways kind of day here, before we hear from the Fed? Guess we got to see. I'm not really looking to do anything right now here. A little bit bummed, that I didn't do stuff the other day, but make a decision, stick with it. That's okay. Oracle taking a peek again before earnings after the bell this afternoon. Okay, and we're back here. We got back down around here again. Not really sure what it wants to do. It's not sure what it wants to do. It's back. We had a fake there. It's somewhat holding here. Often it seems like when something gives it up strong, as in got people getting in long here, thinking it's gonna retrace, and then the powers that be who can see what's going on, smacks it down at least initially, smacks it down some more, gets some stops run out of town there. So just my thought, the way things tend to happen sometimes, being a person who looks at the way things move sometimes, smack them out, get them cleaned out, maybe get longer, that kind of thing happens. And again, if you've heard me a few times, I don't like a lot of bells and whistles here. I like seeing a clean 5-minute chart, just so I can see what's going on. Again, works for me. If a lot of bells and whistles works for you, and that works, by all means, go for it. Do it. Okay. I'm not one to say you find something good. Have a system. All right. If it works for you, that's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love that. Okay. If it's not working, either tweak it or rethink it and come. I mean, the tweaking should be all the time, as we get into different kinds of markets. Uh, Rethinking it means, it's not working out. So your system is flawed. And again, nothing hasn't been done. I'm not impervious to stuff like this. Has happened to me. All right. So stuff I talk about for a reason. A lot of years in this biz stuff, most of the stuff I've seen. I mean, every once in a while, you see something that makes you go, "Holy crap!" But you treat it as a learning experience, and if it worked out, great. If it's something that went wrong, please don't make the same mistake again. And that's my learning experiences can be when you made a profit, could be when you took a loss, but learning is learning. We're always evolving here, so That's a good thing here. In the meantime, pure storage, I have as a morning short, with about an hour left as far as that goes. An hour or so left with you guys. But I'm up at 73.24. It doesn't mean it can't get going, but tight range. A lot of these guys have tight range this morning. The nature of this day. Okay, RGC, we got 16.20. Does it mean a whole lot to me right now? I mean, the range is good. The range is 79 cents. I am way the heck low on 13,000 shares. And again, it's not, the average volume here is 179,000. That's up recently because it has been picking up lately. So that makes it kind of interesting. Let's look at our S stocks here that we're following today. Looking at Sarepta. Okay, look at this guy perking up this morning. He 8 cents, 80 cents or so, but it's steady move up. I'll be a cautious short way the heck up. I'd have to have a hell of a day for me to get short here because I know the way it can move or used to move here. I'll take a look at Solar Edge. Okay, a bit of a move up there, which makes you want to look at Run, and I'll look at the other guys too because I got Run as a morning short, and Sunrun is really quiet. I didn't price out Enphase this morning, but not missing much there either. Wait, is that Run? That's Enphase. Okay. Enphase, no. Range is really quiet. First Solar, I do have as a morning short as well. Yeah, and still a good ways away here in First Solar because I said 264 and change, I believe. Yeah, 264.49 would be my initial short here. So not super exciting. CoreWeave I have as a morning purchase. All right, sliding some, but I'm still $3 away. Gonna hold off putting it in. Still have an hour, so obviously a lot can happen here. Get back to our news stocks. I'm gonna go back to check my list here in general. Flipping through. All right, we see GEV perking up again. So it bounced off that pretty nicely. Okay. All right. Would have been, what can I say? Last time we looked at it was 709. Now it's 719. All right. Happens though, but again, it's a decision I made for a reason. Got as low there as 707 on the prior candle. All right. But we deal with it. And again, it's like something I'm watching. I wanted to see more here. Didn't quite see it. Curious now, are we going to see a breakout here? Literally. Uh, EchoStar, SATS. Another guy hanging here. Kind of near the old high. The old high was 98.80. See it right there. Holding has been a little bit below it. Okay, so just kind of checking that out. All right, this AVAV is getting interesting now. Okay, as it gets closer. Okay, and again, I'm 245. What did I say? 245.99. So 246, for all intents purposes, intensive purposes. I forget how that word goes. Is it intense or intensive? It's one of those. Anyway, that's where I'm at there. And that's some of these other guys. Ugh, I hate it when I get a friggin' junk call because I'm just going off my using my phone when I'm talking to you guys. but watching it come in there. Yeah, so at least that's interesting. I want to look at Carvana yet again. Fat finger. Sorry, guys. And again, we got Bitcoin right back right around 92,000 again, 91.9, almost 92,000. And the Dow and the S&P slightly, slightly whatever here, slightly negative, I should say. Sorry, I'm just checking out. I get some kind of nonsense message with distraction, but we see Carvana here. Okay, trying to get back here. Playing the game was off. Remember I was talking about halfway decent support here. All right, even though it failed, kind of failed, was going to go sideways. And again, we're at a crossroads here. You know, pushing up or coming back in. We're just doing nothing today. I guess we'll see. I'm not being super aggressive because of the nature of the day, and that's something to live with. And back to GEV, in a blink, GEV back back down here again. All right, back down to 712. Okay, 711 now. So range bound, but big range. Fairly wide spreads too. Like 60-cent spreads between bid and offer. All right, pulling back in, but moving. You know, is it worth it? I'm trying to balance. Is it worth it for me to, in this case, taking some kind of small position? Doing like 20 shares at a time, which would be the case here for me. So, because it's like a counter move. Get involved small for the sake of getting involved. You know, I would love to see it do some work down to here, do some work and do something there. Hovering here, it's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. Up. I got to look at Pure Storage because it's getting more interesting for me. Okay, now we're getting more of a move that's like PSTG. So getting up there, just made a new high for the day. And I'm at 73.24. I better put it in. Okay, got it in there. Okay. My little note here. What did I say? I said, where did I put it in? 73. Can't find it. 73.24. All right, and that's a morning short, good till 11 o'clock, based on relative strength. And I guess we'll find out pretty fast if it's a head fake or not. Trading 72. I should look at my other spots here. 73.24. I'm not going to put any more in yet. 74.14, 75.03. Okay. Just for my notes, 74.14, 75.03. Only one I have in is 73.24, and got a little more than 50 minutes here for it to run its course here. Okay. Again, I like to see stuff. I like to see moves like this up. Okay, probably gonna have to see some kind of consolidation before it gets to where I want it to go. But it definitely has my attention. That's a good thing. Got that going on. Other guys here. Let's go back to Carvana. Another guy, was just talking about breaking out, and I wouldn't say it has yet. And again, I'm deciding not to play. Okay, deciding not to play here. I don't want to be, I don't want to be the influence on you guys. So if you decide to, that's fine. All right. If you're more of a breakout kind of player, this could, this could be you here. Could be your kind of game. All right. I see GEV back to 710. Hanging here, sliding a little bit. We did see a 707 in here before. So what are we going to get there? Going back to AVAV. Okay, obviously has been lower. Been right around 250 and was snapping back a bit now, looking like it could head lower. So again, I got 50. I got all. What am I saying? I got all day here, so I could see it. Do I have other? Yeah, I didn't price out my other stuff yet. Let me take a look here. AVAV. Where do I want to be? Rhyme not intended. Should make some notes here. 243.19, 240.46. Not in, but I want to make note. For an easy reference for my sake, just in case right now. All right, so I think that bodes well for me. Might see something there. What is the? We're like middling here. Okay, the high for years 417.86, the low's 102.25. So definitely middling there. Okay. So that could play out well for me. Got to see. Quantum computing stocks are not exactly moving on. Okay, so we see GEV now giving it up a bit, right on 706 now. Okay, so that piece was lower than some of this prior stuff. This prior candle was lower, was 703.72. Coming off that a bit now. Is that a head fake? Yeah, maybe. Still up a heck of a lot on the day. Not quite, as high as it was. And again, is there going to be a spot where I want to get involved? At this point, I'm saying no. I'm said no with Carvana too. Just for now, flipping through my list here. Did I look at? I see Cracker Barrel there. Yeah, we got that bugger going. Where did I see Cracker Barrel? Uh huh. All right, Cracker Barrel making that move back. Back. And I need to start to consider the short side now too. 28.51. Ken been back, got back to flat. Okay, so earnings type of moves for Cracker Barrel there, but not, was not enough to get me long. See what happens on the short, on the short side, or it could play back in. That was a pretty good move there. That candle was, let's see, yeah, a little over a buck eight. Nice little move there. Okay, so that would definitely be a change in character. So that's going to get my attention. I can look at Intel. I haven't looked at Intel in a while. Get the Intel on Intel. Okay, so it came back. Eh, all right. So I was psyched here when it came in this much, but we got a snapback, but we didn't get a snapback close enough there. So that's the move I wanted to see, but just wanted to see a bigger move. I want to go back and revisit AVAV. So I'm liking some of the stuff that I'm seeing, and things progress in the course of the day. All right. AVAV coming back a little bit and then not, a little bit not, got a halfway decent spread there, most of the time. It's been 250, so I've been as close as about $4 away. So that's interesting. Cracker Barrel, back to that because it was changing, the way it was looking. Okay, and nothing, you get that. Odds are you're going to get something, pulling back in a bit. But we've seen 27.34 early today. Gets through there. I'm going to have to put my order in. Like I said, I'm at 28.51 as my initial short there. And we got a little bit of stuff to get through up around 28, but interesting string. Haven't taken a look at GME in a while. And again, I don't want to be super involved, and it's not moving, so it's kind of a non-factor. Should go through my other RS guys here. CoreWeave was getting interesting, then not so much. I said 82.26, and it's perking back up there after getting down as low as lower 85s, bouncing back there. What do we got going with Carvana? Still hanging there like it wants to make a move. It makes me want to visit GE Verona. All right, it basically didn't. All right, now it's been as low as what, 701 something? It's just 698. Got below that 700 number. So maybe that 700 number is a number. Maybe it's not a number. I mean, 700 is a big number in general. Does it want to be there? Does it want to hang out there until we hear the Fed stuff? And then are we even going to get some big moves? I'm planning on it just in case. And like I said, sometimes we get a head fake. Sometimes, stuff comes out 205 and the first move's not the real move, or we get a slight first move and we get something the other way, then we go back the other way. So what I'm saying is a lot can happen. So be ready for a lot to happen. Stocks that might move, we should be checking out. I know they're all piddling and not really doing a hell of a lot, but haven't checked them in a while. And we see AMD kind of quiet. I have a wide range there. All these guys can have a wide range. I'm not even going to detail them. I just want to flip through. Intel we just looked through, but I want to look at IBM. Yeah, it's just tough to get an inkling here before stuff today. It's like before the Wild West here. Makes me want to watch the movie, the remake, not the series, but the remake. I thought that was pretty good. With Fed and Will Smith and Kevin Kline in general. I think Kevin Kline's been like MIA since then. So just something to talk about, right? While we're going through stuff. And Nvidia, will Nvidia be show us the way at 205? A little bit lower right now. I'm 177.13 to purchase it, so somewhere down that way, and 193.33 to short it. Giving you a heads up, and I told you guys, Oracle has earnings after the bell. Does that mean it's going to stay quiet? Does that mean it's going to tip its hand? And again, not seeing a heck of a lot there, but I have it wide. Palantir was doing a little bit earlier. Okay, smack dab in the middle of its range on the day. Bitcoin back to 92,000. Dow slightly positive. Other guys, Nasdaq slightly negative. S&P's basically slightly positive, basically flat. Ken, I should look at Pure Storage because I do have it as a morning short, and I got about 40 minutes left here. And we did get that pullback, consolidate here, and go higher, and get me short, and then pull in, let me make some money, please, pretty please. RGC. And again, this is I think this week's been an example of like having to put the time in because I haven't done many trades. But you got to check and recheck and stuff. And I think obviously it's quiet because we have the Fed doing their thing and finally saying stuff this afternoon. But this is checking. This is the inglorious part about this stuff. Okay, what do we got here? 1620 is the low and not really trading because the volume is what, 10,000 maybe 15,000. Misspoke there. Tons of volume there. Tons and tons. Oh, let me look at Sunrun. Yeah, really quiet. So would we call that a trend? That things are really quiet before this, before this Fed news comes out. Yeah, quiet, 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 quiet. All right, back to AVAV. And again, here, hope springs eternal in my case because it doesn't have a lot to do here. If I see some kind of continuation here, that would be just ducky because it made this move, goes a little sideways, one more down move, get me long, pop up a little bit. Not asking too much, right? That's my mindset there as far as that goes. Cracker Barrel. Should I be thinking long? Should I be thinking short? Or should I be thinking, ooh boy? Okay. Put that bugger in. I better put that bugger in short. 28.51. Hang on. I know it has work to do, but 28.51. Okay. Short. About a buck away, but and where would I be, guys? Hey, I've seen it before. I've had, obviously we didn't get it this time, but I've seen it where you get, these days an earning situation where you just hit it right. You get the long, get out, you get short, you get the short. No, you get the short. You get both outliers there. All right, so I'm not going to put in anything else in yet besides my initial short at 28.51, but I don't want to be there. All right, 29.01, 29.54. Okay, so 2901, 2954. Just saying. And we're at 2780. So saw the way it changed character. Saw that right around here. But again, it's a tough call on an earnings day, so I'm not beating myself up for not being there. Cut myself some slack. All right, I want to see GEV again. And we got 702. So it 7 number. It still likes that 700 number for now. Doesn't mean it really loves it, but for now it loves it. Look at Echo Star. Makes me think of the friggin' SATs or something like that. For goodness sake. All right, so we're a little bit below now the old high, which was 98.80. Do I see a trade here? I don't know. Do we jump in and look for a move back to par? Not in a rush here to do that. We have a decent amount of info. The issue here is I don't know the stock very well. Good volume, but it's a news day. Go back to Carvana, which allegedly I do know well. All right, we're looking at it here and wondering, and here we see, hey, it's a trend, uptrend even. Just looking at that, performing again pretty good, going higher. Yeah, it's the new high. The new high is close. As we flip through, I want to see GEV again. Still, if it's still in love with 700. Not as much, but I mean, still close by. And I should look at my relative strength. I have 35 minutes here, so I'm running out of time for relative strength. And again, was looking for more moves. I don't play it. It's not like I'm just looking to pick it up. I mean, if we did just pick it up, that wouldn't have worked out really. But that's stuff I think about. If you just play it as a pure relative strength kind of thing and just like, from the get go to it, like here, this guy ran up, so that wouldn't exactly work out there either. And it's not relevant to me right now because it's not particularly close. Okay, Pure Storage, we saw a bit of a move. If I can type it in. Okay, trying to get back up there. Trying to get through 72 again. And again, I'm still even beyond that. I'm still like, I'm still like a buck 40-ish away. So as we go tick-tock, it's not as good here. Rocket was not anything close. It was like low 19s last we peaked. Yeah, still right around. I mean, it did have a little bit of a run, and that's something. Pick up this morning, that would have worked out as a straight relative strength play. Just buy it when immediately. Look at that. So these are things I think of, but I not really wanting to do. But I like to check on, get some data rolling around in my head. Run has just been a non-factor. 39 cents worth of range. Definitely atypical of the stock. An hour and a half, 39 cents worth of range is just not normal there. Oh, you're looking at AVAV. Still spotting there. I'll pull it up here for you guys. Okay, across. And basically what I want to see is I want to see a continuation. I want to see it go down, get long it, and then, go up. And like, what did I say? Did I add the other pieces there? Yeah. So I said I'm bidding 245.99. Also thinking 243.19, 240.16. Okay, if I get it a few times, those can be really good trades because then it gets going. So I'm looking for a turnaround there. Not precise. If it's precise, I'll take the money, but looking for something like that and going from there. Back to GEV. Did we get a new recent low? Yeah, looking here. Yeah, lit by a little bit. We saw 696 and change. Okay, now is that good old 700 number going to become resistance now? I mean, it's too early to really tell. But that's going to be, again, that's something food for thought, obviously. Checking and checking. I didn't look at any of the VAC stocks this morning. I do follow them, but did not price them out because they weren't moving enough. Okay, Balancing's rolled down, but you look at the range. The range is $1.30, so I'm not missing anything there. Moderna, yeah, tight. 52 cent. Looking at this, nope. Novavax, yeah, 7 cents. Wow, definitely not missing anything there. Definitely. I'm looking at charter making a move here. It's pretty much been going on since the start of the day. And for late, again, I was thinking, for later on in charter, didn't even approach that 203 number that we were talking about the other day that I mentioned this morning. 210. Okay. I said 216, 63 to short it. So that's a decent amount away. But that, that has my attention for now, at least anyway. Okay, back to GEV. Couldn't get back to that 700 number. So now we've been on a slide. We've been, basically on a slide since we made that new high. We've been sliding. If we do some work here, this could be, 690 level. Could get interesting. I'm not saying, get long it now. I'm not saying throw out a buy order now. But if we do some work in here, maybe it'd be nice to trend between 690 and 700, even with small lots there. So that definitely has my attention there. Pure Storage. Again, I only got 28-minute for my morning short here. Okay, back to 72. Okay. Cracker Barrel, I think you're letting me down. Shoot. Yep. So I got to 27.86. and now it's a buck lower. So is the nature of an earnings day. So, bit of a bummer. Can I say? Yeah, no, I was still pretty far away. I was thinking I was a little bit lower than that, but still, pretty far away on my short 20 and 51. But that was a quick pullback to the 2650s. I didn't even price MDB today. Just seeing it here. And we got a, wow, ridiculously tight range here. Well, I thought it was tight yesterday, but less than $4. Wow, for a $400 stock. Really quiet. I think we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of really quiet. Haven't looked at Tesla in a while. Not exactly missing a lot. $7 worth of range. Makes me think I should look at Rivian. 60 cents. No huge reversal there. Looking at GEV working its way back up towards 700. Okay, here comes a challenge for 700. See what X. Did it touch it? Yeah, touched it and fading. All right, that's definitely food for thought there. Okay. Traversal edge. Back to Carvana. And we're having, we had a pretty quiet Monday. Have another pretty quiet morning here, guys. And again, my apologies, but I can't manufacture this market. When we see the Dow holding right around, slightly positive or slightly negative, the S&P slightly positive, slightly negative, the NASDAQ slightly positive, slightly negative, and Bitcoin doesn't really come into play, but haven't seen that move a heck of a lot. And GEV, yeah, look at that guy. I'm gonna say that bugger. Doesn't want to challenge 690. And what's going to happen? We need to see some data here. It's not just enough in this case for it to just touch there, be down around there. We need to see some stuff because that gap is just ridiculous. So, eyes on. We're going to see some stuff play out this afternoon, really. Okay? Even before 205, I think we're going to see some stuff play out with rumors and stuff for sure. I want to look at Pure Storage. Do I have a shot here? Yeah, 24-minute. On the high. Interesting. I still got, AVAV. I still think can get there. I still think I can get long, at my price. Hopefully, several of my prices, and then get a little pop there. GME still is a big nothing, and I'm away on purpose. Okay, I want to revisit some of our quantum computing stocks. Getty, RGTI. And again, I'm away. I don't like the lack of range here. That's again atypical. It's again I get it's something we're getting because the nature of the day. With Fed news coming later, but darn, something stronger. IonQ. Yeah, faded back in. Again, same kind of buck and change range. That's kind of stinky. G-Wave. Not a big wave to catch today. Again, down a bit. Buck worth of range. Ugh, kind of disappointing. I want to visit Intel again. I think I see it sliding. Not as much. Yeah, I messed up my numbers there. Yeah, Intel, I was what? Oh, yeah. Did my math poorly there. In that I thought we were closer than we were, but I'm down a lot there to try to purchase it. All right, AVAV, like I said, am I getting what I want here? I'm starting to get what I want. A little bit of water. All right, so like $4 away, and that ain't a lot. Okay, down near the lows. Getting interesting. Okay, and I have the whole day for it to play out. I still have another 5 hours and change for it to play out, so that's a good thing. So hope springs eternal here for stuff to get done. Oh, let's look at Constellation Energy because that's coming off. Maybe it's coming off with GEV as GEV comes in. Yeah, all right. So CEG trading near lows. Not quite. It's been like probably 346 now. Been three. Okay, been right around 347, but getting down near lows. I thought today is 339.90. Okay, so that really has my attention. You might say, "Hey Jim, you're still basically $9 away," and rather $8 and change away, basically $8 away. And my answer is this guy moves. This guy can really, really move, in spite of the fact that we've seen 15. 15 ain't nothing here, okay, with what we could see. All right. And then I'd be careful. I'm not putting it in yet, but flipping across, I said 339.90. Next spot would be, where am I at?